Welcome. This is Bridges Muji Bakochola.
Prison quality human
as we build a sustainable environment for growth. It is no secret that our nation is nutritionally challenged, as some of the statistics that we see around are very alarming, in spite of the plenty that we assume to have in terms of food and what we need going up. It is also imperative, according to experts, to ensure that nutrition is in the center of any developmental plan. So we're going to be looking at the whole gamut of nutrition, where we are as a nation, what should be done, and of course endeavor to build a bridge that will ensure a sustaining nutritional value chain in our country. So let's look at some of the issues that might come up. We in the midst of plenty, we don't eat well. In the midst of plenty, some people overeat and you have obesity. But what I would want us to quickly build a bridge is ensuring that we go past malnutrition, particularly in children, and getting our national nutritional value in order becomes now a major priority. So that's a bridge we intend to build on this special edition of Bridges, which is getting national nutrition right. Now, I have with me here experts, and they live it, they dream it, and they also see the possibilities of reversing the trend that we have today. On my far right, or left, I'd rather say, it's my one and only. I call her my one and only. A lot of us call her Madam Food. Some prefer to call her Madam Nutrition. But please meet Mrs. Ladi Bako-Aiyegbusi, MNI. She drives national nutrition at the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. Sis, you are welcome on this very interesting program. This is your turf. Thank you for coming on Bridges.
Thank you, Ma, for having me.
Yes. Now, vitamins also are an essential of food intake, and we're not doing very well on the table. So we have with us here the country director, Vitamin Angels. He's also a seasoned public health expert and sustainable development leader and expert, Dr. Francis Ahingido. You are welcome on Bridges. This is not the first time, so thank you again for sparing your time. So that's what we'll be looking at. National nutrition, essential for development and growth. Now, if we're thinking of fast-tracking development in Nigeria, that's what you all agree with that, don't you? Okay, so we have a consensus. So let the conversation start. First, let's give us a background, Mrs. Aiyegbusi, Mrs. Bako-Aiyegbusi. Give us a background of where we are today in terms of nutrition. How do we state our country so that it's not just a Moji thing? Let's get the background from you.
Thank you very much, Auntie Moji. Nigeria currently is battling with triple burden of malnutrition, which is exemplified through undernutrition, overnutrition, and micronutrient deficiency. In 2021, the country conducted a national food consumption and micronutrient survey to find out what are the food items that Nigerians are consuming. What are the micronutrient contents? How are those food prepared? And how easily accessible, affordable are those food items? One of the findings was that only about that about 41.5% of Nigerians cannot afford food. They do not have the money to buy the food that the household needs. And it was also found out that as far back as 2021, the country, in promoting nutritional status, have fortified some food items. We have biofortification of cassava with vitamin A. So the yellow cassava, the survey revealed that it's only 3.4% of households that are consuming the yellow cassava. Now, as far back as 2021, the agri sector was also fortifying sweet potato. So we have the orange flesh sweet potato. The survey revealed that only about 4.7% households were also consuming this potato. In terms of the feeding practices, it's been observed that yes, about 96% of children between 6 and 23 months are breastfed. However, it's only 29% that are exclusively breastfed for the first 6 months of life. And when the first 1,000 days of life of a child, the nutritional needs are not adequately met, the risk of the child being stunted is very high.
And now, and our figures are very high here.
And now, what do we have? In Nigeria, 40% of children less than 5 years old are stunted. We have a population of 49 million that are under 5. So 40% gives us about 19 million children being stunted.
So, I mean, if we go on with these figures, not comfortable at all. So we need to be drastic in terms of interventions, which can be long-term, can be short-term, can be medium-term. I'll come back to you, Mrs. Aiyegbusi, but I'd like to go to our champion of vitamins. So call yourselves vitamin angels. Now, she has established to us the gaps there. Now let's quickly start looking, because we don't have the whole of the day to discuss this. Let's start looking at the quick wins of to bridge the gaps that has been enumerated.
Okay, thank you very much, Auntie Moji. My MNI, Director of Nutrition, has aptly put the case. But she also left one other component that, because of, I think, when you picked up the conversation, pregnant women. Because that nexus, when she talked about the first 1,000 days of life, often we often think of it basically from the level of the child. But it starts with what the woman is putting in her mouth while she's pregnant from conception. So that first 1,000 days of life is from conception to the second year of the child on average. So the expectation is that the mother should be in good health. And a light chunk of her needs are gated through vitamins and minerals. The same thing with the pregnancy she's carrying, because she has a passenger. So that passenger has to be doing well within that vehicle, as well as having the driver in good shape, and all that. So that becomes a very critical part. And she did mention something that is important. Why I'm saying this is that so that we have a picture before we go to the solutions. That first window, that first 1,000 days is very, very critical. Why? That is when the neural tube, what is known as neural, what gives rise to the spinal cord and the brain, develops in the child. And the development is gated through also micronutrients and vitamins, especially things like folic acid, iron, zinc, and the rest of them. If the child does not get adequately from the mom, that passenger will be in trouble. And what that does to a country is that if you now have a large population, like she just pointed out, about the children who are stunted, about 19 million of our population already. It means that some of them from that 1,000 days, the first 1,000 days, we're not doing well. The other danger for us as a country, we talk about demographic dividend. What is demographic dividend? We have a lot of the young men in this room now. They are within that age where they are productive, they are giving the society their energy, the best of them. The danger is that if they don't get the neural setting wired very well from beginning, their brain capacity will not give us the quality of people who will design the systems of tomorrow, who will design the new AI. They don't give us. So that demographic dividend will be lost. So nutrition is critical for that. So back to that. So having established that from basically what we have here, Nigeria starts at the cusp of changing those things, the paradigms around those things, and it's possible. We have started a journey, and one of the things at country level, I'm sure Madam will talk about it, is the fact that we decided our first 1,000 days of life to plug it. What did you want to plug it? We decided that we make sure that the country is able to get and scale up multiple micronutrient supplements. MMS is not a cure-all, but it helps. And why it helps is that a lot of our mothers are going through pregnancy with perianemia. They're already not doing well in terms of how their blood capacity to carry that pregnancy is. So when you boost it with MMS, it helps them have better outcomes for themselves and the fetus that they are carrying as a passenger. So that helps in that first 1,000 days of life. So you see where, and the country has started that journey, and under her leadership, and we've actually done very well in terms of compared to a lot of countries.
That's a bridge. That's a sustainable
Yes,
bridge.
that's
I want us
so,
to build,
yes,
looking at
fantastic.
nutrition. Yes. Can you just round up what you?
Yes. So why this is also very important is that we need to further deepen these programs that can bridge those gaps, because a lot of women who are in certain areas of the country, for example, are underserved. They're still marginally served. And some of those women, like some parts of let's say the north, they eat only couscous or some light food, and a lot of them are nutritionally deficient. And they go into pregnancy, and they don't have that. So when we catch them, I'll use the word catch them at the clinic, because people have argued, why do you want to give supplements? Why not tell them to eat good food? It's not as simple as that. We're dealing with poverty. Having
And
that access to
these
this,
supplements
yes,
are available.
they are available currently. Nigeria is we're moving through the process of supporting the government of Nigeria, Vitamin Angel, UNICEF, and some other organizations to procure it, to get it in different forms, so
Okay,
that it can
so
get to those
I
women.
quickly want to get back to you on and something that Dr. Francis alluded to, the country national intervention. How far are we going with that?
Thank you very much, Ma. The country interventions being implemented to curb the current high burden of malnutrition is multisectorial. We have interventions that are preventing further malnutrition occurring, and then we have interventions that are treating the current children and women that have been diagnosed malnourished. So the first is policy review. At a point, we had a social and behavioral change strategy on infant and young child feeding practices. That has been reviewed to give attention to feeding practices for the pregnant woman, as Dr. Francis said, for the adolescents, for the woman that is breastfeeding, and also for the newborn, early initiation of breastfeeding. Within 1 hour, every newborn should be put to breast to suckle the breast milk. The first yellow milk that comes out is very rich in antibodies. We call it colostrum. So the community, the pregnant woman, the health workers are sensitized and trained that that milk should be given to the baby. Then the woman should be supported to continue breastfeeding exclusively for the first 6 months without giving the child water, even during hot season, because breast milk contains over 80% water. Everything, every nutrient content that the baby needs to grow well for the first 6 months, the breast milk has it. Then from the 6 months, the woman will continue breastfeeding. And now we now start introducing locally available food item. The food that the family is eating will now be introduced to the baby gradually from 6 months, in addition to breastfeeding for a minimum of 2 years. Also, supplementation. The government is promoting the provision of vitamin A to children, and this is done twice a year during maternal, newborn, and child health week. Then for the pregnant women, we have the multiple micronutrient supplement, which Dr. Francis talked about. Nigeria is the first country in the world to have structurally introduced multiple micronutrient supplement into pregnancy care to improve birth outcome. Last year, 2024, Nigeria got a donation of over 3 million bottles of multiple micronutrient supplements. And Vitamin Angels also, gave the country over 600,000 bottles.
Okay, is that sustainable?
Yes. As at December, over 2.3 million women had been given a bottle each. A bottle contains 180 tablets. So the woman, from the day she attends antenatal and she is confirmed through pregnancy test that she's pregnant, she is given a bottle and encouraged to take it 1 tablet a day. A tablet contains 15 micronutrients that the pregnant woman needs for the health and the development of her baby. Within a year, the Nigerian government developed training manuals on multiple micronutrient supplement to train the health workers on administration. We develop social and behavior change communication materials, flyers, fact sheets, radio jingles, TV video clips, and even short messages used in the social media platform. And we have also in local dialect. We're produced in English and 4 local languages: Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, and Pidgin.
Okay, and doing it also on bridges here.
And we're also doing it.
Yes, I'll quickly like to go back to Dr. Francis. Well, these are good steps, especially from pregnancy, birth, and of course the child. Now, let's look at the well-being, the general well-being of adults, where every one of us here falls into, starting from the adolescents. How are we doing with nutrition? Because we're very worried about obesity, we're worried about all kinds of nutrition-based illnesses. They say you are what you eat. What are we doing in the midst of plenty? Yet we are not getting it right. When I mean plenty, I mean plenty of food. There's nowhere in this country that you travel to that you don't get a variety of good nutritional food that we should be consuming.
Okay, I think it's a journey in progress, and the country, like Madam has pointed out, has started a journey, and it's a journey that needs everybody's hands on deck. The reason I say this is that a lot of the things that bug us are not even about not having the food, like you pointed out. There may be issues but it's the quality and understanding of what you need. A lot of people eat beyond what they need. Those who have it now eat beyond what they need, and that's overfeeding. And if they are predisposed to it, they end up with obesity. And one of the biggest challenges we have is that also people are eating the wrong food. A lot of people are eating ultra processed food, highly processed food, that their window of absorption is very high into sugar forms. So they spike very easily. And if someone keeps eating those kind of things over time, I will not mention names of any particular, but those ultra processed food are very dangerous, because the risk for us is not just only the nutritional problem. It's in the years ahead, we will have our report cards. More people will having type 2 diabetes because they are eating the wrong things. So we need to re-engineer the process in such a way that our communication, like Madam has already pointed out, and the good thing, she also comes from that communication side, promotion, health promotion, and all that, to make Nigerians to begin to see the picture that food is not when you see a wolf, you just eat, as Nigerians will say, but you should be able to eat it with moderation and with a sense of intention. I'll give you a simple example. Research has shown recently that even the order you eat food matters. It's not just what you eat, but how you eat them. Like if you have a plate of food that has all the things, you ordinarily should start with protein, then the veggies, not the way we were brought up to think. Because the reason is that you need them to go and feed the gut bacteria first and form a film over your this thing, so the sugar you absorb is less. Because in reality, man doesn't really need as much sugar as we eat. All the sugar we consume, our body, a lot of the pathways to break down this thing. And Madam is even the best person to talk about it. But,
yes.
but the thing is that the pathways produce sugar in our body. So a lot of times we don't really need the extra sugar that we pump into our system. When I say sugar, carbohydrates, all this starch, akpu, gari that will keep pumping in one form or the other at the expense of our system. Yes. But I think I'll stop
yes, because I'll go back to her, because a lot has been done really since you came on as director of nutrition. And you still see some of these things around, even in the urban areas, some of the excesses in terms of poor nutrition and all that. Now, how can we cascade this knowledge? Because it's what you know that helps you. Because most of the children that you find are malnourished. We still get some in the urban areas, but most of them are at that level of, the country. So what are the plans to cascade the message to that level and ensure that we can improve and get away from severe malnutrition? Because truly, we are not at war, yet you see these children.
Thank you, Ma. One thing that the government is doing in collaboration with other stakeholders, development and implementing partners, is taking information on appropriate feeding practices to the community level, to the household level. And one very practical way is to tell the household that when you are cooking, ensure that you cook in the correct manner. For example, when you are cooking vegetable and the color has changed, then what you are eating, it's no longer nutritious. You're just eating roughage. So cooking practice, it's now being carried out in the health facility. We call it food demonstration. So every health facility has a kitchen corner, and they have dedicated days of the week where the women are taught. Then, if you are serving your food, the staple should not be bigger than your fist. Then you have your vegetable, and then you have your protein. And always ensure your plate has a minimum of 5 colors.
Okay, 5 colors.
Yes,
okay.
a minimum of 5 colors with fruits. And we are blessed in Nigeria. There is no month, no season that we do not have fruits in abundance. So what we are encouraging is households should invest in the fruit that is in season, because it will be cheaper to have that, to ensure that every household, every meal goes with at least 1 fruit.
Food hygiene, one last one. Food hygiene, important.
So, it's very important for everyone to wash their hands before and after every meal. Very important.
You know, one of the challenges in food, as I know we're rounding up, is the fact that sometimes in the immediate environment of the people, there are food they can eat, but because of cultural practices, they don't eat them. And those things have nutrients. You know, so we need to look into that.
Certainly, certainly, this conversation must continue. So, do we have your words that would invite you back and would continue this conversation?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
definitely.
Yes. Okay. Because food security, nutrition, they all are an essential to well-being, and the well-being will build the healthy herd of Nigerians that are needed. On behalf of all of us, thank you very much, the Director of Nutrition, Federal Ministry of Health, Mrs. Ladi Bako-Aiyegbusi, MNI, for coming, and thank you for your time. And of course, the head of the Vitamin Angels, thank you too. And thank you for what you're doing. It's a collective responsibility. We must, as a people, and deliberately build a bridge that speaks to getting national nutrition right. So we'll be back again same time next week. Thanks for watching.